of the best examples that comes to mind when I think of it is a book that keeps coming up time and time again in this podcast, which is Pip Williams' The Dictionary of Lost Words.
Yes.
Whenever the debut author question kind of comes up later in the show as a great example. Talk me through working through that as well, but also with a firm to kind of make sure that this followed kind of in that vein.
Well, yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned Pip Williams because I did my research when I had finished the draft of The Butterfly Women, and I was looking at approaching publishers. And Ruby Ashby Orr, who commissioned Pip Williams, originally her debut was actually a travel memoir of her time in Italy, but then subsequently she then published The Dictionary of Lost Words. I absolutely loved that book and adored it, and I thought, how great is this about storytelling? Just an average normal woman story, those types of stories that have just been lost to time, and putting that out to the world. And fortunately for Pip and for a firm, that book did incredibly well. Pip Williams is focused in the UK, and she's an Australian-based author. With lots of our historical fiction writers in Australia do write sort of those overseas stories, international stories, which have that appeal overseas. But I think there's a growing market in Australia for hearing those women's voices, those untold women's voices here in Australia.